Hi, listeners. Before today's episode, I want to tell you all about this new brand that I am partnering with called Comfort. I'm sure you've all seen the ads all over social media with their viral travel hoodie, which I have to say myself, I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. Personally, because as I'm gearing up for having all the comfort that one can possibly have postpartum with a new baby, first thing I'm looking for is comfort and something that's really going to fit all of my needs. I love that this travel set has tons of pockets and is super easy for me to just throw on, feel comfortable. And if I'm looking to snag in a little nap while the baby sleeps, I have a nice little eye mask I can just pull down and snooze right alongside her. And as things transition from our warm summer season into fall, you can certainly look to Comfort for having some really great options for hoodies, loungewear, PJ sets if you're looking for a little early Christmas shopping, all kinds of goodies. So check it out. If you use the link in our episode notes, you do get 15% off. So check it out and be comfortable.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey! Oh, I should turn on a few more lights.
Sitting in the dark.
There we go. We got a bit more. Okay.
Matt was born in the dark.
You simply
You adopted it.
adopted it. Yes, I was born of it, molded by it.
Yep.
I not even understand if I understand, because you wouldn't even know. Do you understand, Craig? Craig! Craig!
Craig don't even know.
Well, and he's like, dude, you're like, the voice thing is too much. And I'm like, I know. Even in the actual production of that movie, they had to ADR a bunch of his lines because they got into the final cut and they're like, dude, we can't understand a single fucking thing that you're saying. And he's like, well, I was trying to enunciate.
I was trying and you did this to me. So whose fault is it?
Yeah, it's like this. Look, I get we were going for a more grounded version of Bane, which, when you get right down to it, they never explained what the fuck that mask was.
No.
I feel like they kind of tried to imply that, like he got his lungs beat to hell so badly or something, or like he breathed so much sand when he was in that jail or something that he needed that, but like they never actually explained what it was for. So
No, they
my
did
one
not.
criticism. Yeah.
I just assumed that it was like when Zach Baggins wears his mask that it was just asthma related. I was like, oh, he's got asthma. Yep.
I also appreciate that everything,
It's the bad asthma.
yeah, well, it's we're in a new age of like a degree of separation. It used to be Kevin Bacon and now it's Zach Baggins. And it's like you can always get so many jumps to Zach Baggins, even from someone like Bane. And we're not even talking about Zack Snyder or wait, no, is it Christopher Nolan? We're not even talking about Christopher Nolan or the actor. We're talking about the character Bane, and it can get to Zach Baggins in just 2 steps.
Yep.
And
Asthma.
Bane, yeah, Bane's like, I need my inhaler.
He's got asthma and he has a mask like Zach Baggins. Yes. We did it.
I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about. I need to see this Zach Baggins mask now. Does he sound like Bane when he wears it?
Like, no, he wears
think
like
there's a disturbance in this home.
the first time I ever saw it, I was like, was he dropped too many times as a child? Mostly because I have never seen anyone else wear this outside of like a construction site. I'm trying to pull it up.
Oh,
My computer is not cooperating.
it's like an air filtration thing, like that kind of big mask deal.
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, come on.
And while you're looking that up, I will say I do apologize. I've been doing my best to accommodate your pregnancy as much as possible. We're getting towards the tail end, But when I was looking up things for this week, I was like, have I even ever had a mint julep? Like, what the fuck is a mint julep? And now I'm very glad that I went with it because apparently I fucking love mint juleps. What the fuck?
Yeah.
um,
So it's like a respirator mask, and it's,
right.
from what I understand, it's asthma related.
Because he's the only one that wears it when they go into certain places.
I believe so.
Interesting. Which
Why does Zach from Ghost Adventures wear a mask for every episode?
every episode? I mean, I know they're going into like old crappy places. I guess I've only seen those sorts of masks when removing like asbestos and stuff.
Because he's often in old, abandoned, dust covered asbestos places.
Hey, there you go.
I
And because
I
it
thought it
looks
was
badass.
I
Why.
thought it was because he had really bad asthma and that anything dusty would trigger his asthma and he'd be like wheezing.
I mean that's fair. I feel like that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah,
And he'll try to head it off at the pass rather than just suffer through it. Seems
I
pretty
mean, that's
fair.
fair. That's fair. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have never had a mint julep. So I did make a non-alcohol one, but now I want to try a real one later.
So what did you make yours out of?
So I made it with simple syrup, ginger ale,
Ooh.
ginger beer, and then mint.
Ooh. Okay.
I
I ended
wanted
up
something with a little bite in it and not so
sure.
sweet because they're like, just do ginger ale and simple syrup. I'm like, that's really sweet. That's a
Mhm.
lot of sweetness.
And I think we've talked about this before for anyone who isn't uh, who doesn't know, like ginger beer and ginger ale are very different things. Still
Yes.
ginger, but yeah, ginger ale is very sweet.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, do you want more sugar with your sugar? Maybe not, but yeah, I will do what I must.
Did you use actual mint leaves?
I did.
You
I
are
tried
you
to
are quite
crush
the
them up a
scholar.
little bit, but did not do a very good job.
I remembered trying something like this. I think I was trying to make a mojito a while back. And
Ooh.
I don't think I understand how modeling or muddling works.
Yeah,
So I cheated this time and I got a bottle of pure mint extract and I just dabbed that in there and it seems to be I do think it's good that I love mint because I'm fairly certain I put in way too much. But
I
the kitchen
definitely
smells
might do
delightful.
that later. Add a
It's
little,
pretty good.
doop,
I
little,
recommend it.
little splash of mint.
Yeah. I might do that in my coffee now too, because
Ooh.
I really do like mint. And I'm trying to cut down on costs and I want to try to make a home version of what Caribou Coffee does called the mint condition, which is like an Andes
Oh,
mint
I love that
flavored.
one.
Oh my god, yeah, we've talked about it before. I'm like, it's
Oh,
so fucking good, but it's $10 if you get the big one. So I'm like, I don't need to do that. I
yeah.
generally do it once a month, and I'm like, that's still too expensive for coffee.
Yeah, coffee's expensive.
It is kind of everything's expensive
Everything's expensive. That's it
to
is
the
not
degree.
just
Yeah,
you cannot just cut out coffee and suddenly buy a house. I'm gonna say that.
no, yeah,
We are
which
not in
I
that type of we are not in that. No. It is just everything.
And was that Marco Rubio who said that? There was some politician who specifically said like, "Hey guys,
It
just
is
cut
not
out
a
those."
politician. It is Dave Ramsey, who is a financial guru whom I despise.
Oh, yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, many of our parents absolutely adore. I do have his book
Yeah.
given to me by a relative, and I still haven't finished it, but I've gotten through like at least a third of it, and no No shade at James Ramsey. I'm just like, this kind of seems like basic stuff. The book essentially comes down to, hey, dummy, be better with money. And I'm like, well, I'm
Kinda.
trying. Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying.
Like, this is why I have the damn book in the first place.
Mm-hmm. You're getting rich by telling me to be better with money. It's like, I appreciate the support, but god damn it, I need a bit more than that.
I did see something that was he has since said with this economy, he's like, yeah, you kind of can't just like not buy coffee to buy a house.
Oh,
That
yeah.
doesn't work anymore. And
Which
I'm
is
like,
good.
oh,
Like,
really? Really? You're saying that now?
well, especially as a multimillionaire, it's like he's sold so many books and programs and he's had
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff. And it's like, I can see how it would be easy from a point of affluence to tell someone who's not doing very well that, like, hey, it's easy to just not get coffee or whatever when you have the means to just go buy a coffee at every meal and have it basically not affect you. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a better way.
There does. There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way.
Sometimes it feels like we're just horses racing around a track, doesn't it, Celine?
It does. We're stuck in this horse race.
And in that very obvious heavy-handed segue, welcome everybody to Peculiar Pairings.
Welcome
That
to our
that'll
show.
Yeah, that'll make sense in just a second. My name is Matt.
I am Celine. Welcome.
Yeah, this is our little show where Celine tells us a story, and we have some drinks and some treats, and we have some laughs and some cries, and maybe a little bit of fun along the way. And this week, speaking of horses, I already know what it is, but Celine, would you mind telling everybody what our topic is for today?
Yes, we are talking about the 1968 Kentucky Derby.
Woo! Oh,
Woo!
I only
And
stopped because I was just thinking the Kentucky Derby itself, like as a concept. I forgot it was a specific year.
it is a specific year.
Well,
And
the pairing
I was
still stands.
excited because my inner horse girl gets to come out a little bit, which,
Mm-hmm.
fun fact about me is
Yeah.
that, like most young girls, you dream of having a horse because horses are majestic and awesome. And you're like, why would I not
Yeah.
want a
They're like
horse?
dogs that you can ride. They're like angels sent from heaven that we don't deserve, but we have anyway.
They are like dogs, but a lot more work. But
That's
this
also
is
true.
the topic of horses is one of the things I have absolutely crushed it in playing trivia with family.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. When Gabriel's mom was alive, we used to play Jeopardy
Oh,
when we'd all
okay.
get together. And one of
Just
the
to
times
clarify,
we
did you mean like
played,
this was like a board game or like you would watch the show together and like
like, we
guess?
would play a Jeopardy board game.
Yes, excellent. I love that. Nice.
And one of the categories I just completely crushed in and got every single question was about horses. And everyone's like, why do you know that? I'm like, because I like horses. God damn it. They're
Yeah, leave me
cool.
alone. Well, and you guys didn't raise horses growing up, but you had kind of a
We
little
had
hobby
goats.
farm, didn't? Yeah, there you go. Which I'm not
You
trying
had
to
goats.
say that they're the same. I
And
just mean they're tangential.
well, when my dad lived in Utah, actually, we did ride horses at one of the uh I want to say neighbor, but it was still like a 20-minute drive to get to this person's house, like going into town, because
Yeah,
we did not live in town. We lived like outside of town.
yeah, that
But
definitely reminds me of my
still,
childhood with like grandma and grandpa were right up the street and we had a couple of friends. I guess it wasn't 20 minutes, but generally most of our friends we lived really spread out, so a lot of the times we
yeah.
had to go quite a ways. But yeah, just out in the wilderness.
Yeah. So I have learned quite a bit about horses. And of course, like when Mimi had horses, all I wanted to
Mhm.
do was ride her horses.
Yeah.
And I was always told no.
Oh
So it made
no.
me very sad.
Which was I do have to ask, was that Mimi or Dad?
Both, I want to say.
Yeah,
I think
which
specifically because of the horses themselves and generally not being super great with other people.
Right.
And that's some horses are and some definitely are not. So
Well, and
it
I can understand that.
depends.
Mimi would definitely be the one more concerned about like, don't spook the horses, you know, they don't know you, which I totally understand. I was just wondering, like, if it was mostly dad, I could see him being like, "You're not insured for riding our horses. Don't go near them."
I
Just
want
like,
to
I'm
say
not.
it was a combination of both, but
Right, right.
I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure it was we would ask and be told no, and then just be like, "Aw,"
Yeah.
and then maybe ask a few more times, hoping that maybe the answer would change,
Yeah.
as kids do.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it's like, what's the point of having a relative that has horses if you never, if it makes you feel any better, I never rode them either. Like, I was there somewhat regularly, and I'm like, I want to ride the horses.
And they're like, "No,
Well, a couple
you're not
times
insured."
well, and a couple of times the topic of conversation even came up of like, well, girls are the ones that are into ponies and stuff. You're a boy, and I'm like, have you ever heard of a cowboy? I want to ride fucking
Have you
horses.
ever
Like,
been to a
yeah,
rodeo?
yeah, right. I'm like, we go to the rodeo every year. Well, I want to ride horses. The hell,
Yeah,
but yeah, sometimes it's just not to be.
roping. I
Mhm.
mean, the thing women do the most is, like, barrel racing,
That's true. Yeah, even
but
it's kind of weird how we find ourselves in these different categories of performances, even when like ideally the horse is the one doing most of the work, essentially.
well, and that's the thing that I do enjoy about, like, the Kentucky Derby and rodeo is that the horses are athletes.
Yeah.
They get their
Oh, hell
own
yeah.
ranking system. That's why, like, with bull riding, like, the bulls get, like, their own score, and that
Oh, no
determines
kidding.
which bulls are used for PBR in Vegas and all of that throughout, like, the rodeo circuit.
Oh,
It's the same
wow.
with horses.
Huh.
They get different ratings for, like, saddle bronc riding, all of that, like, the Kentucky Derby. The horses are the star of the show.
Well, I was gonna say the little that I know about horse racing, it does make sense because you never really hear about the jockeys. You hear about the horse that won. And that's also a
Yes.
little different with like there are certain races where it's like just the horses themselves like running or like dog racing kind of.
Yeah,
You don't have people riding. But yeah, like the horse is the one that gets the acclaim.
yeah, and, uh, yeah, so we're gonna dive in before
Yay.
I get too excited and on a
I
tangent
was gonna
about
say,
horses.
but before we get into
My
that, we do have a
Oh,
pairing to
yes, yes,
talk
yes.
about real quick. Our drink this week is the and I guess we already talked about this a little bit, but the famed mint julep, which I'm just now
Yeah,
realizing I've never had and am becoming a very big fan very quickly. And oddly
nice.
enough, paired with and I looked back on this and I thought this was strange, but I suppose depending on like the time period we were talking about, which is why I forgot that it was specifically 1968. But the pairing is ultimately any sugary treat, but specifically the one I found mentioned was jelly babies, which are most famous in the UK. I was able to find some here, and they are interesting to say the least. But Celine, do you care to guess why those two go together and how they're tied into our topic this week?
Well, the mint julep, that's the drink of the Kentucky Derby, so
Okay.
that one's big for
Okay, yeah,
me.
I had no idea. So I didn't know.
The amount of times they talk about mint juleps, like, in I don't know if you've ever watched, like, the whole 2 hours leading up to the race at
No.
Churchill Downs, where half the time they talk about, like, who has the best mint juleps and the best hats, and
Somehow hats makes more sense to me than mint juleps. Who
yeah,
has the best hat? Nice.
yeah, mint juleps definitely are at some point a topic of discussion because that is, like, their
Okay.
drink.
Well, and that's
The
good because
jelly
that was
babies
multiple sources was like overwhelmingly mint julep, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea that it was such a thing, but I'm glad that that was spot
it
on.
is, it is. The jelly babies I don't know the
Um,
correlation.
if I'll give you a quick hint, it is related to the racing. It is more for the jockeys. This particular treat is related to them.
They just get them hyped up on sugar before they race? Is that what they do? Like they're children?
Yep. Yep. Apparently. Yeah, apparently I checked a couple different sources, one Wikipedia and mostly just like Googling. So I suppose a little bit of it. Well, no, they had sources.
Wow.
Anyways, I didn't write them
They're
down.
like, these guys are notoriously short and small. They
Yeah.
are like children. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, these grown ass men.
Well,
She
and I didn't
said.
find I didn't find anything that specified if it was like something that the horse owners or people putting on the derby provided to them. I believe this was a choice that the jockeys made individually. So generally, it was really high caloric, high sugar treats in between races to literally give them a jump start of energy and and a sugar rush, more or less. But the
Well, if
one
it's
that
their
was
choice, I feel better about it versus
yeah
them
yeah
just being like, here, because you are like the size of a child.
I honestly didn't even think about that until just now when you're like, here you go, little boy. Here's a little treat for you before your big race. And it's like, I'm not a boy. I'm a man. Sure
I'm a
you are.
man.
Yeah, I'm a man, damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I did
jelly
not get
babies
jelly
were
babies. I got
specified.
gummy
Okay.
bears.
Very similar. I
Yeah.
was curious if you were able to find them. I had never had them before, and I didn't realize how different they might be. For the most part, they are very similar. They like
Yeah.
they're even shaped very similarly. The ones I got were kind of elongated. They were almost sort of canoe shaped, and I would show you them, but I ate them all
Interesting.
already. I,
That's okay.
I neglect. I think I did take a couple pictures, but I'll have to post them and send them to you. But the
I
weirdest
got,
thing is I'll finish real quick. The weirdest thing is
yeah,
their
yeah.
consistency is like the exterior is the same sort of firmness as a gummy bear, but when you get on the inside, it's like once you break the
Like the
mold
seal.
of it, yeah, it's not like a gusher exactly, but it's a lot thinner on the inside. It's almost a
Huh.
dough. It's kind of weird. It's a little grainy, and it takes for an American palate, if you're used to really processed gummy bears, it takes a bit to get used to. But they were pretty tasty. I also got something they called wine gummies, which I was worried would actually
Oh,
be flavored like wine because they're labeled as like port and Chardonnay or something like that. And they're just kind of more traditional gummies. They're similar to like dots that we have or
yeah.
jujubes. But anyways, sorry, I just wanted to visit that. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say since I could not find the jelly babies, I got Albanese gummy bears. Which are like fancier gummy bears.
Ooh, with a hint of real bear.
Oh, I hope not.
I
Not.
kind of doubt it.
I'm like, let me
Oh,
check
those, yeah.
these
Oh,
ones.
yeah, those are
Yeah,
the swanky ones. Yeah.
they're like the more natural gummy bears.
Yeah, I haven't had them in a while, but they have a very good mouth feel.
They are very tasty. Very tasty.
They are exceptional.
Yes.
Albanese.
And with that, I will list my sources for
Yes,
today.
please.
I have Kentucky.com, Yahoo Sports, PollockReport.com, History.com, and a few articles from the American Classic Pedigrees.
Oh, how fancy.
Yes,
I love
I
that one
know.
is just history.com. I've heard of the History Channel, and they're like, nope, we've got it all. Just
Oh, it
history.com.
is like, I want to say they work in connection with the History Channel, actually.
That would that would make sense.
I love their website. They're great.
Hell yeah.
So, few things we have to know about this 1968 Kentucky Derby is that it took almost 4 years to determine who the true winner of the Derby was.
Oh, wow. It's like a presidential election.
Yes. And this is one of the few instances of a horse losing its title. This was the first
Oh,
instance that this ever happened. And the only other time it has happened is it happened in 2019.
I remember that. Yeah, as much as I'm not into like the horse world, I do remember that being a big deal. Everybody was like, "Holy shit, they took it away."
Yep, it does not happen often. It does not happen at the Derby.
Yeah. At in the entire history of it, it's happened a total of twice.
Yep.
Hmm.
And
Goddamn.
with this particular Derby, we have two horses in question.
Ah.
That is
Mhm.
Dancer's Image.
I forget how
Oh,
weird
you
their
gotta
names are.
their names
Yeah.
are always.
Mm-hmm.
And Dancer's Image is a gray thoroughbred.
Okay.
He stands at about 15.3 hands tall, which is about average for a horse, a little bit more on the taller end. Most quarter horses that you see in like rodeos and stuff are about 14 and a half.
Okay.
So he's like a little bit taller. He is the son of Native Dancer, who was a great racehorse. So that's
Okay.
kind of where the name stemmed from.
And of course, the ill-fated Tiny Dancer. It's the lesser known quarter horse. Okay, go ahead. Your expression was just like, this is serious. Would you please?
He is one of the racehorses of Peter Fuller from New Hampshire. So from out
Ah,
east versus the south.
coming all the way to
And
Kentucky to steal our glory.
yep. After racing in the Triple Crown, Dancer's Image would then debut as a stud at Glade Valley Farm in Maryland, in Frederick. And that was for the 1969 breeding season, so like a year after the Derby.
Okay.
And
And generally, if they are like put into the classification, so to speak, of like being a stud, does that mean that their racing days are over? Like they're just for breeding?
no,
Oh, okay.
no,
I'm
that
learning so
is
much about this.
just, yes. So, and I had to do a little bit of digging on some of this because with some of the terminology, I'm like, okay, they will use stallion interchangeably with a lot of like racehorses, and that you
Okay.
have different, the categories honestly differ more with male horses than female horses.
Gotcha.
Because for females, you have mares, the end, done.
Oh, I see.
For
Wow.
males, you have studs, stallions, and geldings, which is to differentiate between a stud is a horse that is breedable. A
Yeah.
stallion is an intact male horse. So
But
all
not
studs are
necessarily
stallions, but
breedable. Oh, okay.
not all stallions are studs.
Holy crap. Okay.
And then you have geldings, which are castrated males.
Oh, okay. I now that you mention it, I think I have heard that phrase, but it
Yeah.
is less common to hear, I suppose. You generally want to keep your stallion as a stud.
Yes. Yes. So it just kind of depends on like their age and stuff like that. I don't know all the details of it because I am not breeding horses. So
So, just to clarify again, every intact male horse is a stallion, but if
yes.
they might not necessarily be capable of breeding anymore, so then they would not be a
Yes.
stud. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Or it's like
Interesting.
they only use them as a stud for breeding within certain time frames.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they might still have working equipment, so to speak, but they're not used for breeding. Like they're not considered
Yeah.
breedable.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Wow.
So I will say, despite all of the controversy that we are going to be diving into,
Mhm.
Dancer's Image did have a fully booked stud season, which means that he could potentially father up to 26 foals, so 26 little babies.
Oh,
And
but he had a fully booked season.
it's like a weird concept.
I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, it's a whole breeding thing. It just sounds so weird to me when they're like, "Oh
It's
yeah,
gonna get
he's gonna
weirder.
be." Oh,
It's gonna get a little
oh
weirder before.
God.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you warned me. Now I'm ready. It's gonna get weird.
Several of his offsprings were standout race horses, such as Smooth Dancer, God's Walk, Go Dancer, and Cablia.
What? Okay, what the fuck is a cablia? Are you?
That is just the horse's name. I
I was
I
gonna say
I may be mispronouncing it because it's spelled kind
which
of weirdly.
maybe I just like the first
Cablia,
two are related to like dancer. I don't remember what the third one was, but even that one like
God's Walk.
God's, yeah, it's kind of like dance related. And then oh, I wonder if that's the name of a dance, the kabli whatever you said.
Cablia, maybe. Um,
Either way.
it was known that he had a preference for gray mares. And I never needed
Hmm.
to know that.
Yeah, all right. I mean, huh. I
Yeah,
we
it's in
are
your brain
animals
now
as
too, and you're
well.
never gonna
Yeah.
unknow this.
I'm really quickly trying to like rationalize it how it's like, hey, look, we're all animals at heart. We all have, our preferences, but at the same time it is like, yeah, I really didn't need to know that.
Yeah,
It's like, you see that gray mare over there? Oh yeah.
yeah. But overall, Dancer's Image was a fairly decent racehorse. He won 12 out of 24 startups, and that was up and down the East Coast and in Canada and Ontario.
Is that
And
really good?
while he had controversy over the
Oh,
Kentucky Derby, was still considered a very desirable horse. And he went off to sire 671 foals,
Jesus. Okay, wow. Over what
best
time
known
frame?
for sprinters. I that I do not know.
Well, I mean, horses live in the multiple decades, don't they?
Yes.
Okay, so but wow. Well, and I suppose he is capable of breeding with multiple mares in the course of a year, so
Yeah,
still
and
though,
it
600
he was also taken like internationally too later in his career.
in his breeding career.
Yep.
Okay,
And he was known as like a sire of sprinters, so of like race horses and sprinters, but he did
gotcha.
tend to pass on his weak ankles.
Oh.
And he also really liked mint candy. So the mint juleps feel especially
Yeah,
fitting because
oh my
this horse
god,
really liked mint.
that's adorable. I do feel slightly weirded out by how much we're learning of his preferences, but it's also really endearing. That's very cute. It's
Yeah.
like he likes mint candies.
So this leads us to our other horse, Forward Pass, who unfortunately I don't have as much info on.
Forward
He
pass.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a
Hmm.
bay horse and he stood at 16.2 hands tall, which is on the taller side for a horse, but a lot of bays are taller horses, so that did not surprise me.
Hmm.
And he
Is that
did
like a
start having,
water bay or like it's someone's bay, like they're always hitched to a mare?
you know, I don't particularly know where the name comes from,
Okay.
but
I'm willing to assume it's based on the water name.
I would say so.
It's like this is
He
my new
did start
bay over here.
having knee and ankle trouble at 3 years old, which is for a horse itself is young, but for a racehorse is not. Because
Oh,
most
yeah.
racehorses are 2 to 4 years old. They are babies.
when you're at peak like physical fitness, I that can be related to humans, I suppose. I mean, a lot of our most incredible athletes are between like 14 and 20 or something. Like that's when you're at your
Yeah.
peak physical performance, and then it's like all downhill from there.
Yeah. And poor forward pass was not as much of a desirable stud, and he only sired 180 foals.
Well, I think that this was back when the forward pass in American football was first being instituted. So, wasn't very popular. People did not like the forward pass when it was instituted, and it relates to horses as well. Not as popular. People just don't
Well,
like the
and
forward pass.
I believe part of the reason why he was not seen as like a desirable stud is because he was inbred,
Oh.
which would also be the knee and ankle trouble as well.
Sure. Yeah. Huh. That's how it is in his family. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's fair.
and he did not choose this for himself.
Sure. Look, we're
Some
not, yeah.
man chose this for him, and yeah.
Although if there's one thing we learned from the last horse, everybody has a preference. You can't necessarily, I'm just saying, maybe he's like, you know what? We're not going to go any further with that.
We're gonna leave it there.
Yeah, he was less desirable. Moving on.
Those are our horses: Dancer's Image and Forward Pass. So, in the weeks leading up to the 1968 Derby, it was pretty uncertain that Dancer's Image was even going to run
Oh,
because
okay.
of his ankles. He was having a lot of issues with his ankles, a lot of soreness with it. So they're like, I don't know if he's going to be able to run because his ankles are not looking good.
Oh,
And
okay.
at Churchill Downs, Dancer's Image trainer Lou Cavaleris Jr. basically had the horse living in like an ice bath if he was not actively like on the track training,
Oh,
trying to like
wow. Oh,
ease the soreness and
oh.
that with his ankles.
Yeah. God, that sucks. Well, especially for a race of creatures that like you assume has a love of running, and it just constantly like you're forced to just work, like your running is your work all the time, and then the rest of your life is mostly just ice baths. So that's got to be sad.
Yeah. Are you sitting with me or not?
And you've got your I see the tail just kind of fall, and he's like, I'm still deciding.
Yeah, he likes to stretch out on my
Oh.
legs, but if my legs aren't in like the right position, he can't get like wedged in there.
And then does he
So
just
he
stand
just
there and
doesn't.
stare at you?
Well, he like
It's
will
like,
just keep spinning around and doesn't really know what to do.
oh, that's
Yes,
so
you just
cute.
don't know what to do.
Yeah, you'll see
He's all
dogs
settled
do
now.
that. Oh, good boy.
Yeah, that's what
It's
he
like, I'm
does.
in.
So with all of the soreness he was having on either Sunday or the Monday before the Derby, Dr. Alex Harthill, who is a prominent but also controversial Louisville veterinarian, treated Dancer's
Controversial.
Image. Yes, and we will get into it.
Ah,
He
yes,
treated
okay.
he treated Dancer's Image with phenylbutazone or Bute, which is what we're going to call
Ah,
it,
right.
which is a painkiller.
Good old Butte.
And
Right.
yeah, good old
There's a
Bute.
snake in his Butte. I'm glad you left. Like, I know that doesn't make any sense, but it was funny to me.
So Bute is a drug that basically is like horse aspirin.
Right,
It
right. Yeah,
works
it's
the
just
way
a.
that we take like Tylenol, ibuprofen.
Mhm.
It's
And while we're on the subject, real quick, for anyone who is unaware, one medication for one animal is not necessarily going to work for another animal, which is why there was a
yes.
whole thing about what was it during COVID? The something chloroquine, something chloroquine, something something. But it was like in a certain dosage you could use it for humans, but it was primarily used as like a horse antibiotic, I think, or like an anti-parasite drug. And it's like,
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
just take a drug that's meant for a different animal and put it into your system and just expect it to work like a wonder drug. So that just to clarify, like
Yeah.
that's why we're not saying the horse took aspirin. This is horse aspirin because they're different creatures with different chemistry.
Yes. And also they are so much larger than humans. So
Mm,
like
true.
what type of dosage they would take could kill you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Horse
Probably.
tranquilizer can kill you. In
Yes.
case you
Yeah.
didn't
Exactly.
know.
Why, if you ever find yourself in a position where you're trying to score horse tranquilizer on the street or something, talk to
Rethink
a
your life,
doctor.
please.
Yeah,
Please
rethink your
get
life.
help.
Yes, exactly. It's like I get it. Sometimes you need help, and if you're looking for horse tranquilizers on the street, you need more than horse tranquilizers. Go, please talk to people.
Please get help.
This is our
So
PSA for the moment.
this butte is it's not considered a drug that is like a steroid or a stimulant that affects the horse's performance. Lots of
Hmm.
horses use it during the or like for training, but they were not supposed to have it in their system for the derby at this point in
Oh,
time.
okay. Gotcha. And I feel
And
like that would be the similar kind of case for humans with like ibuprofen or something, where it's like, this isn't a performance enhancing drug. This is just like, yeah, you've got a bit of a sore wrist and you need to help bring the swelling down before the next game, whatever.
so like yes and no. It's I would say it is
Oh.
probably the equivalent for us as humans as like someone using an edible to sleep, and that
Oh.
like it's not necessarily going to enhance your performance, but if you take it during a time where you have like this big sporting event in a place like Colorado where it's legal to be taking said drug, but then you go to like the Olympics and
Okay.
it's in your
Gotcha.
system, yeah, you are
Not to
taking it
mention,
legally,
right.
but then in this circumstance for this race, having it in your system is then not legal,
Okay. Good
even
to
if you're
know.
not
Yeah.
actively taking it.
Right. It's, yeah.
A lot
Which
of
is
times.
hilarious just about like weed because, like, I don't think it's going to enhance your performance, but it's still against the rules, damn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that's kind of where my mind was going with it. I'm like, oh, so it would be
Gotcha.
like if you were using it for this thing that is not enhancing your performance, but it's a drug that they don't allow for the race.
Okay. Yeah, because I could see that like it's meant for rehabilitation. So
Yeah.
if you are, well, and I could see like you might give it to your horse and then make them run on a knee or an ankle that isn't yet healed, but you're just trying to push them through. So it yeah, arguably a rule that is meant to protect the horses. So like, yeah, don't let them. We don't want you
Well,
pushing your animals in a state when they're not supposed to be pushed.
and the thing that was kind of funny about it is that like in everything leading up to the race, they have no problem with them using it at like Churchill Downs. It's not like Churchill Downs at like the location they can't use it or anything like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, you can use it for training. You can use it for that, but not during the race. It's got to be out of their system."
Okay, so let's assume I have no idea what you're talking about, which obviously I totally do, but for anyone who's listening, what is the difference between what is Churchill Downs versus the Kentucky Derby? The Kentucky Derby is the
So
event.
the Kentucky Derby is the event. Churchill Downs is the location. So like the racetrack is Churchill Downs.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah,
Yeah.
they can be there training and like gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
So because when I first read it, I was like, okay, so like they just don't allow it like at Churchill Downs, like totally makes sense. And it's like, no, they do allow it there for training, but not for the race. I'm like, well, that okay, interesting.
Yeah, there. Yeah, I think I get it.
So,
There again, it's like rehabilitation versus performance time.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So it's supposed to take around 72 hours for the drug to fully pass through a horse's system, which apparently the veterinarian had given supposedly given Dancer's Image the drug a week before the race. So
Wow, that is a lot more
almost
than
double
72
that
hours.
72 hours.
Yeah, that's well ahead of time.
A little bit more than that. And it hadn't processed through his system yet, which is like oddly suspicious.
For sure. Well, and it kind of comes down to the sort of thing of like everyone's body is different, everyone metabolizes things differently, but
Horses are
72
very
hours,
similar.
right? And 72 hours is a guideline, but generally
Yeah.
it's not so wishy-washy, or it's not so different that like you would get an additional 72 plus hours for it to move through someone's system.
Yes.
Like without an extraordinarily like unusual circumstance in your body, like it's not going to
Yes.
take more than 72 hours.
And there
So for it to be a
are,
week is very strange.
yes, there are a few factors that could potentially affect the outcome, which would be like the
Like,
method of collection, like
okay.
doing a sample of like blood versus urine versus
Okay.
droppings. So like
Right, right.
those will yield different results.
I imagine another circumstance would be lying. That would affect the results.
Yes, that would definitely affect the results.
Gotta
As
be careful.
would contaminated bedding, so like not cleaning the
Mm,
horse's stall
mm-hmm.
regularly. So that could be, those are all factors that could change the outcome. But
Sure.
still, at the end of the day, if it takes 3 days to pass through their system and 7 days later it's still in their system,
Yeah.
A
There
plus
again, you
B
don't
is
have
not
to.
equaling C.
Yeah, you don't have to know much about horse racing to know that those numbers don't make sense.
Yeah. So
Strange. So the
if
controversy
administered,
begins.
yes, if administered properly, it would have left Dancer's Image entirely clean for the Derby. So the two things are possible here is the drug was either not administered properly or there is some fuckery about.
Which brings us back to the lying.
Yep.
Perhaps someone was just bullshitting. Which is ironic in a horse race.
Yes.
Thank you.
On May 4th, 1968, this is our race day. The race begins with
Yay.
jockey Bobby Ussery saddled up with Dancer's Image. Dancer's Image was initially bumped coming out of the starting gate in the Derby and ended up dropping last in the field of 14. So at the start of the race, Dancer's Image does not start great, starts at the back of the pack.
And when you say bumped, do you mean like hit by another horse in some way, or that's just a reference to not doing well?
I believe it is just a reference to like not having a good start out of the
Okay.
gate.
Gotcha. Well, that's too bad.
And starting around the 3/4 pole, Ussery asked Dancer's Image to fucking go, and the pair start to gain ground. It's
You know this is a
kind of
race,
weird to
right?
like it's kind of weird in that it's like, oh, they're asking the horse to go, and it's like, no, they are like prompting the horse to run.
The phrasing is hilarious in
It
terms of
is,
like, you know, the horse doesn't know English, right?
yeah, it's
I would like to politely inquire of you if you could please
can
go
we go
just a
faster,
little bit.
please?
Is just did you see how bumped we got? Would you like to go just a tidbit faster, you piece of
Yep.
shit? Both
So
of our livelihoods are on the line here, you fuck.
the tiering pace setter was Kentucky Sherry, and that carried the race favorite Forward Pass kind of wide entering the last stretch. So after like the last turn, the other horse that was like setting the pace kind of got our lead forward pass a little bit on the wider side
Okay.
for that straightaway. And this is when Dancer's Image came charging through and claimed a full 1.5 length victory.
Wow.
So coming up
Okay.
from behind as the other horses start to tire out, gaining that speed, and then just
Yeah.
steamrolling through.
Yeah. Nice. It's that photo finish kind of well, not even a photo finish. It's like a blatant finish.
It was a blatant, obvious finish.
Got that yeah, come from behind victory. And just to make sure I know, there again, I don't really know horse racing, but this is the kind of thing where it's just that dirt track and it's basically just a big oval, right? Like
Yes.
this isn't like a racetrack kind of thing with a bunch of turns. It's just they do a turn, they go this way, they do another turn, they come back to essentially where they started.
Yeah. It's one big
Got it.
loop.
Okay, dokie.
And basically, I think now you'll see it on the racetrack. There's like a little device that spins around to like set the pace for the horses
Oh, okay.
that goes on like the fence. But if I am not mistaken, at the time they actually had like
A
another
person.
horse in person
Oh,
like setting
making
the
pace.
pace.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Literally a pace horse. Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that would have been Kentucky Sherry.
Oh.
Because of
He's like,
course they gotta have a cool name too.
yeah, she's like, well, I'm just retired. I just make the pace now. I don't really race like everybody. I just do what I do.
Yep. So then afterwards, they collect a urine sample from the winner, which I am curious if they do this with all of the horses and not just the winner, or if it's just because they don't care about the other ones as much. They're like, we just need it from the winner.
I mean, I can kind of see that where it's like, I mean, they got eighth place. Who gives a shit? They're like, clearly the drugging didn't help if they were, so who cares?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could also see it being like, well, it's the rules. They like, if they're juicing, even if they did poorly, they should be reprimanded
Yeah.
for doing that. But
Yeah.
right.
But later that night, Dancer's Image's urine was tested by a state racing chemist in a mobile lab at Churchill Downs. And more than likely, they were looking for stimulants like heroin and cocaine, which,
Oh,
fun
wow.
fact, heroin is a stimulant in a horse versus a depressant like it is in humans.
Back to that whole body chemistry thing. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. Because there again, even as different as we are, I just sort of assumed that like a drug like that would work the same way. But there again, different animals, different body chemistry, different
Yeah.
brain chemistry. Wow, it acts like a stimulant. So they're just
Yep.
jabbing horses with heroin, which is also amazing because it's 1968 and they've got all this sophisticated chemistry for friggin' horse racing.
Yeah.
Serious
And
business.
they started doing this in the 30s because drugs became
Wow.
a huge problem. And since then, Churchill Downs like started a zero tolerance policy, and that even like the teeniest of traces will entirely disqualify you.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, yeah, because it's like this is not something that naturally occurs in food
Yeah.
or in the body. Yeah, it's like if it's in there, you put it there. Go fuck yourself. Real quick aside, Celine, do you think what is
Yes.
your opinion on the concept of like having a separate new league of human athletes doing like, football, even Olympic sports kind of things where they are allowed to juice if they so choose for like specifically for greater achievements, like just for the glory of it, just for the fun of people watching to see them do like insanely huge baseball swings and stuff. Like, do you think that's okay? Because like arguably they're still putting their bodies on the lines with these performance enhancing drugs, but like if they know the risks and they want to, how do you feel about that?
I feel like that starts to tread the line between um ability and sensibility,
Okay.
mostly in the fact that, and this is entirely my thought and opinion, is that I feel like people trying to push the envelope to that degree. Salem, I swear to God, if you bite my foot right now, I will kick you.
Speaking of pushing
He's
the
like
envelope.
licking, he's like licking my foot for whatever reason. I know you're trying to be sweet, but please
if
don't.
if you bite my foot right now, I swear to God.
I feel like that's how people are going to get themselves killed.
Okay.
Specific, like, because you have sports like gymnastics where doing those kinds of flips and stuff is already such a hard
Uh,
demand on the body that you
sure.
if you are then adding in this extra enhancement element, people are going to push themselves that much farther, and I think start to ignore what is safe and sensible with what they physically can do.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm
So
I'm honestly still I'm honestly
that would be
kind of
my
on the fence
answer.
about it. Yeah, I definitely don't think there's any place for that in the Olympics. To a
Oh god,
certain
no.
degree, I feel like if you just are a home run derby dude or you just love driving, because apparently there are just like golf driving competitions where that's all you do.
Oh,
And I'm like, I feel like if you want to do that, you know the risks, you should be allowed to, but you should be in a different class of people. Like it should clearly be a different thing. But
yeah.
my main criticism of it is that like I feel like it would inevitably start to bleed over into the other leagues where it's like,
Yes.
although I mean that it kind of already exists. I don't know. It's I feel like there is a argument to be had about letting people try to reach whatever peak performance they want to with whatever equipment or
Yeah.
drugs they want to, but there is a certain sort of societal deterioration that might occur in the idea of like we will risk anything for the best possible performance. But
Yeah.
one thing I think we can agree on is keep it out of horse racing because the horses aren't really getting to consent for that shit.
Yes. They do not get to consent for it.
Yeah. In
So,
fact, I feel like one of the only reasons that this is even acceptable at all is just because horses genuinely seem to love to run. Like that's what they're built for. That's
oh,
what
they
they
do.
live for. Yeah, they love running.
They do. And there's a lot of respect that goes into the relationship that you have with a horse.
For
And
sure.
Gabriel and I have talked about this where like you cannot ride a horse that does not respect you.
Yeah, I buy that. As
If
someone who's not really a horse person, the people I've known who are really horse people, it is a connection and a bond and a sense of trust that you can't manufacture.
yeah, and that's one of the things with horses is that like if they they trust you like very completely. And if you
Yeah.
break that trust, like they're truly back from that. Like you do something that puts
Yeah,
them in a bad situation, they get hurt. They don't fucking trust your ass. Like they're going to kick you off.
for sure.
And like you see this with horses, like if you are riding a horse and you are not like certain, you are not like commanding the space, they know that you're not serious and they're not going to listen to you. They're not
Mhm.
really going to tolerate you for very long. That's usually if you have a horse that doesn't usually buck people off and then someone gets bucked off, it's cuz they don't respect you and they don't like you.
Yeah. Well, and I think I can understand how a lot of people who aren't familiar with horses would see them as just like big dumb animals, but
Oh, they are not.
no, there's definitely significant depths to them, and I've witnessed. Well, I guess I've not witnessed. I've known a few people who have had the experience of like if you build that trust with them, like you met this horse when you were a kid, you've worked with them your whole life, you're now a young adult, or you're in your 20s, you make a decision while riding them, like you said, that gets them hurt, gets both of you hurt, and or in some way breaks that trust. If they ever trust you again, it's going to take like twice as long to come back from
Yeah.
the trust that you built before. It's going to take twice as long to come back from that than
Hmm.
the original again, if they even trust you ever again. It's pretty
Yeah.
profound.
Yeah. So, with all of that, 3 days after May 4th, on May 5th, or 7th,
Oh, right, I
sorry,
forgot this was still just the first day.
on May 7th, Dancer's Image loses the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
And the following Tuesday, Churchill Downs president Wathan Kenblecamp.
I'm sorry. Can you can you please say that one more time? What was just the first name? What was the first name? Wathan?
Wathan.
Wathan. And the last one, please?
Wathan. Okay, oh shit, I mispronounced it.
No, well,
I
oh,
said
Kemble.
Kenblecamp and it's Nebelcamp. Or
That is
if
somehow less funny. It's almost the same, but it is somehow less funny. Kemble.
or if it is going off of the pronunciation of like Gabriel's last name, in which you do pronounce both letters, it is Kniebelkamp.
That's my favorite. Ebel Knievel Camp.
So
Oh
he
man, this was in
announced
1968 because that is such a like 20s British name right there. Wathan Knievel Camp.
yes,
Oh man. Okay,
he
1960
announced that
1968.
because of a positive test for Butte,
Ah.
Dancer's Image had been disqualified and placed last, moving runner-up and race favorite Forward Pass into first.
Wow. Okay, I can see that being quite an upset.
Yes.
Oh, and isn't this still, I know it's the Kentucky Derby, but don't they still do horse betting? Like, isn't that still kind of a big part of,
Oh yeah.
oh God, how do you rectify that shit? That is a proof. Because you can't just
Yeah.
like ask people for their winnings back. They're
Yeah.
out of town. They're like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Because so, and just to clarify, is the whole event, because you said the first day was the 4th, and this is now on the 7th. Is it like a weekend long thing? Like there's a whole number of days
So
of racing?
they have a whole like series of racing. What we are most familiar with the Kentucky Derby is known as the Triple Crown.
Oh, okay, right.
Uh, and that is one race out of like a whole week of all kinds of racing that they do at Churchill Downs. What we
Oh, okay.
know colloquially as the Kentucky Derby, which is the Churchill Downs Triple Crown race, is, or they'll call it the Race of the Roses, is what they call it sometimes, I think.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That is one race in, they have, and that's kind of the thing about Churchill Downs, that like you can go and just watch horse racing anytime. It's this
Oh,
one specific race that people make a whole big deal out of.
I suppose. Okay, so that makes sense. Like, so it's a racetrack. They're doing races all the time. This just happens to
Mhm,
be like the big event.
mhm,
Gotcha. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
honestly didn't
So
know that.
usually with that, most of the horses will be there for like, I want to say most of them are there for like the week. They don't immediately like pack them up and ship them off. Like the race is over, we leave at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Like
now it's off
they're,
to the circus circuit. Time for
yeah,
you to run
they're
for
usually
cornmeal and
there,
shit.
and some of them will even do multiple races, I think.
Okay, interesting. And then, as far as you know, is it like a whole year thing? Like they do races that lead up to this particular event. So like it's a seasonal thing, like NASCAR or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they do. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So with this disqualification, uh Dancer's image's owner is Peter Fuller. So he got disqualified
Ah,
and was basically like, hey, like we found traces of this banned suppressant in your horse's urine, so your horse is disqualified, sucks to suck. And both Fuller and Cavaleris denied any knowledge of any pre-derby antics, any of that. They're like, we did not give the horse anything, so we don't know what you're talking about.
right, and that's
And
the owner and the jockey, right? The two people
the
you.
owner and the trainer.
Oh, okay,
So the
gotcha.
person that's been
Oh,
training the horse
so
and is
okay,
ultimately responsible
right,
for
right.
the horse's condition.
Yeah, because the owner, you could see them juicing a little bit, like they're trying to get their money back on their investment. They want to, but
Yeah.
the trainer is the one who is on the front lines with this horse. But it does leave room for the jockey to have done something.
Potentially. He, as
Mm.
far as I am aware, he is like not involved in any of this. Like his name is only mentioned as he was the jockey for this horse, the end.
Which is exactly how he wants it. He's wringing his hands in the background
He's
while
like,
he's got this
yes.
bag of money. Yeah, it's like they never suspect me, and then he runs away off to. It's so unfair.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they're not
So
like the Munchkins, but still.
yeah. Fuller was so upset with this decision that he sued.
Oh, wow.
And this court case dragged on for several years. And
Wow.
he had the financial means to do it, and
Yeah.
he was the first person to make a serious claim that the testing was inappropriate and that the racing chemist was incompetent.
Which, like I can see if he's got his own reputation because he's arguably also a breeder. Like he doesn't just own
Yeah.
horses, so he probably has his own system, his own ranch, his own yeah. And so he's like, this is my integrity on the line. And I could see if he had any inkling of something being untoward, he would want this to just go away as fast as possible. He's like, let's let
Yeah.
everyone forget. We'll come back next year. That's pretty bold. If he's like, "Fuck you, I'm taking you to court because this is bullshit." that it's either just a really bold move or it's a strong indicator of him being innocent. Like, not that there
Yeah.
wasn't something done, but at the very least, he doesn't know anything about it. And he's like, "Fuck you, I'm taking you to court."
Yeah. So I got to take a few photos of this little monster.
Little angel monster.
I'll put them on social media later so everyone can see what he's doing while I'm recording. So on December 11th, 1970, so 2 years later,
Mm.
Dancer's Image once again became the winner of the Derby. Now, a Franklin County Circuit Court judge ruled in favor of Fuller's lawsuit, seeking to
Wow.
overturn the disqualification. You were
Oh my
gonna
god.
fall off. He's like stretching.
He's like, "Fuck you, mom. I'll do what I want."
Yeah, basically. And Helleringer, who was he's a author of a book of law for equine regulatory law. He includes a chapter on this battle of the 94th Kentucky Derby, stating that the racing industry dreaded the precedent of Fuller winning. Because basically they worried that if any owner who has a horse test positive would basically then just like go to the lawyer and cite this court case and get the ruling thrown out.
Or at the very least have precedent to gum up the works for forever because they're like,
Yeah.
it's happened before. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That definitely seems, yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, not to make this political, but it's the idea of a president saying that the election results in which they were involved with are not valid because of whatever. It's like
Yeah.
you're kind of saying that our entire system of government is bullshit.
Yeah, basically. And
Yeah.
they're like, if this gets thrown out, we're going to have all kinds of problems with trying to keep any sort of integrity with
Right. Yeah. This
these
has
races.
implications. Yeah. This will reverberate throughout the entire world of horse racing.
Yeah, absolutely. But on April 28th, 1972, Dancer's Image once again lost the 1986 Derby, and for good this time.
Oh. And
And
not through any sort of chicanery, just like did not place, just was too slow, did not make it.
so this is all still for the 1986 Derby. What happened
Oh.
was is that this case was then
Mm-hmm.
brought up to the Kentucky Court of Appeals, which was at the time the Commonwealth's highest court, and they
Oh.
overruled the circuit court and allowed the disqualification to stand. So the original um reason. So they basically threw out the ruling from the case and were like, yeah, no, that doesn't work.
um. Okay. Okay. I have a confession to make. You said Commonwealth, and I was making a joke about British names sounding British. This doesn't take place in the state of Kentucky.
It does. This is the fun thing I have learned while
Oh
doing all of
God.
my paralegal courses is that
Ooh,
the
yeah.
Commonwealth refers to the people. It is the people's
Oh.
highest court.
Oh,
And that
okay.
is outside of like the Supreme Court.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking the British Commonwealth. I got okay. So it
I
is just a
honestly
very British
thought
name.
the exact same thing because a lot of our court system and how it's structured and works actually comes from England.
Right, which yeah, that makes sense. I guess we don't usually use a phrase like Commonwealth
No, we don't.
all commonly. But okay,
We don't
okay.
use the
Was thinking
Commonwealth too
correctly.
terribly much.
Well, and certainly British, or if I'm not mistaken, horse racing has a lot of British roots and lineage. So, like, we would bring that here, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. So with this disqualification, Forward Pass once again became the Derby winner. And in that became the made his owner, which was Calamit Farms. He was their 18th Derby winner.
Oh, wow. And okay, so just to reiterate, this is all for all of these dates that you've mentioned is for this one race in
This
68.
one race in
Okay.
68, yes.
So it was they won once, it got overturned, then that got overturned, and now it's been returned one more time.
Yes.
Wow.
Back to
Okay.
the original ruling.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Ah, damn.
part of the decision was huge in the world of racing because it established the authority of a racing commission. So it actually gives them authority and like a leg to stand on. And that it's like, yes, we are the commission for racing, but if you do not follow our rules, there will be consequences.
Got it. And now it's like they have more work to do because it used to just be like, yeah, we just oversaw the race and we got a bit of a paycheck and we got to sound cool, but now
Yeah.
we have to actually do work. We actually have
Yeah.
to make decisions and shit.
And at the end of this lawsuit, Fuller ended up spending $200,000 to fight this for a prize of $122,600.
Wow.
Which For him was not because of the money, it was because of the damn principle.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. That's a
Because,
lot to go
like I
through.
said, he had the financial means to take it to court and to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the money. This was not about the money, it was about the principle.
You're goddamn right it was. And in
And
horse racing, that's all you need. Is the
here's the
principle.
thing that I think is going to is I think you're going to be outraged by this.
Okay. Oh no.
Less than a year after winning that final lawsuit, so less than a year from 72, the Racing Commission then approved Butte to be used during the Kentucky Derby. And that as they're having this whole legal battle, they've already been on the fence about making this
Yeah,
drug legal. And they're like, well, we can't do it and let Fuller win.
for sure. For
You
sure.
know that was the hill they were willing to die on.
They're just being petty as fuck. And they're like, well, we can't. I like. I can understand that totally seems like something that they might have been decided on while this was still happening, even in the turn of the decade, in like 1970, where they're like, okay, we cannot let this headache ever come up again. Let's just make it legal. It's not a huge deal. It's not a performance enhancer, whatever. And then like there are these extra court cases where they're like, that seals the fucking deal. We're just ending this because this was such a nightmare. And you
Yeah.
can definitely see
And
Fuller just being pissed of like, why the fuck did you make me go through all that shit?
there was no one's really entirely sure why they made the decision, but it had been debated as to whether or not this horse aspirin really needed to be on a list with harder substances like cocaine.
Cocaine and heroin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I mean, because people make that case for weed still, and it's like, imagine if ibuprofen was on the same list as heroin and
Yeah.
cocaine and morphine. You'd be like, really? I mean, really?
And the main argument they had is that while it is seen as a performance enhancing drug, it's not at all the same as doping the horse.
Right.
Because, yes, not feeling sore and not hurting may mean that they can run better, but it at the same time would not be to the point where it is so drastically improving their condition that they could break an ankle essentially and then still run through the pain.
Right. That's a good point. No, I it's
Most of the time, and this is excluding what we have seen at the Olympics with, watching a
mhm.
gymnast run on a fucking broken
Oh
ankle and
yeah.
do an
Oh my
amazing
god.
vault.
Yeah.
Outside of those circumstances, most people, when they break an ankle, are not then performing better.
No, for not even at the
Horses are
same,
the
like
same.
it's yeah, it's the difference. Like we have plenty of times where you show up to work just delivering mail, not even delivering it, just like casing our mail in the morning. Your wrist is a little sore, and so you'll take some
Mhm.
ibuprofen, and you maybe feel at the same level. You definitely don't feel better than usual. Like it's far from being performance enhancing. It's the idea of like if there's a reason that like morphine and heroin are illegal because that will make you feel like you're flying versus you have a bad wrist and you need something to help you through the day.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, especially during athletics, aspirin is not the same as like blood doping or taking harder drugs to
Right.
work through the pain.
For sure. Well, and if you've ever been in that situation where you have like a finger dislocated or a broken bone or anything that's pretty severe and your doctor says try ibuprofen for now and you just look at them like Are you fucking kidding? Like, look at my limb is hanging from a thread. You want me to just try fucking ibuprofen? Like, that's not just
That
gonna
is
get you back
me.
into racing.
uh, That was me after my sister-in-law had a C-section, and they're like, "Here's extra strength Tylenol." And I was like, "The fuck?"
Yeah, the hell you say? You give
Like,
me that good
which,
shit
by
right
the
now.
way, is what they commonly will give you for a C-section is extra strength
Shut up.
Tylenol. And you're like, "It's major abdominal surgery." And they're like, "Just take some Tylenol, it's fine. Just take some ibuprofen."
I've had people make fun of me for being a quote unquote like male feminist. And I'm like, if you're not a feminist in any way, just look up any amount of medical history, especially like testing of stuff, and see how many times they've used male subjects to test like female-based drugs. And it's like we are so behind on like female medicine. The idea, like you said, this isn't even something that should be gender-based. We opened up a person's abdomen. Why we're sticking with Tylenol? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's less feminism and more humanism. Can we just
Yeah.
be logical, please?
No, Matt, we cannot apparently. But
No, I don't
I
think
will
so.
say, I think the thing that makes me wonder is, what do cortisol shots fall under? You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Because,
I've had
like,
one of those.
that is considered legal. I don't know as far as like horse racing specifically, but like at what point, like, where is that line?
Well, because yeah, I mean, that's a straight up steroid, isn't it? But I do
Yeah,
think that a lot of people, yeah, people will be provided it for certain things. Like I said, when I've had a bulging
it's
disc in
for
my
pain
spine,
management.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes like swelling reduction and stuff. So I mean, it has very blatant medicinal purposes. And so it's like if you have that's a great question. Like, yeah, if you have a severe enough situation where you need something like that and your doctor is like, no, we need to give them an injection right now. They're like, well, it's a performance enhancer. And it's like, they can't walk. If
Yeah.
performance enhancement means to you that they can get back on 2 feet, then yeah, I
They
guess
can
it is
literally
enhancing.
do normal functions, and sure.
Yeah.
Then sure.
Sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, if you mean your horse can now actually just stand up, then yeah, I guess their performance has been enhanced.
Yeah. So with that, and us now having the Derby given to Forward Pass, how much do you know about Kentucky Derby winners?
Oh, I think in this podcast you have listed the two that I'm aware of. Like in terms of total winners, I am now. Oh, I think technically I am aware of one winner, Forward Pass. The other one was
Perfect.
disqualified. So,
So all of this had me thinking, how often truly does a favorite win the Kentucky Derby? And according to
oh,
Yahoo
yeah,
Sports, that happens 33.9% of the time.
no shit. Almost exactly a third.
Yes. So,
That's wild.
of the 118 times that a derby has been run since 1908, that would be 40 times. 40 times a favorite has won the race.
Uh, Huh. Which, just being familiar with statistics the way I am, I know that one thing people hate about how like the Super Bowl works is you rarely have the two what are considered to be like the best teams are
Yeah.
actually playing against each other just because of how the brackets are set up and stuff.
Yeah.
So, assuming it's a similar kind of statistical anomaly, that is odd. That is oddly a strong number of times that the favorite would actually win. Are you saying there's a conspiracy, Celine?
Potentially. This
Oh,
this does include when they have had co-favorite horses, which would be Secretariat's win in 1973.
interesting. For anyone who is unaware, same Secretariat that was featured on Craig Ferguson's The Late Late Show on CBS for a number of years. That
Yep.
one was actually two humans in a costume, but the same horse.
This, and that's a very, very famous horse,
Yeah.
Secretariat and Biscuit.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. Okay, it's
I
dumb.
say
I
you now
literally am
know,
only.
three dirty
Oh,
horses.
okay. I see where
Forward
you're
Pass,
going.
Secretariat, and Seabiscuit. We're upping that number, Matt.
Um, so this might sound dumb. I knew of the film regarding Seabiscuit and maybe book slash sequel film. I don't think I knew that that was about horse racing. I think I thought that was about
Yeah.
like a horse in war times. So Seabiscuit is Jake Gyllenhaal, or no, Tobey Maguire. Was Tobey Maguire in Seabiscuit?
Uh,
Let me see here.
I could not
I
tell
think
you. I could not tell you because you would be thinking of um
it was Tobey Maguire.
a okay.
I don't
I
know
say I
who
know
he
that you would
played, but
be thinking of probably the more recent Seabiscuit, and then I know in the original Seabiscuit it was actually Shirley Temple.
shut up. Oh, yeah. So I didn't even know
Yeah,
that that was a remake. Shirley Temple was like
yeah.
the jockey.
She was not the jockey. She was one of the people that like really advocated for the horse.
Oh, okay. In the movie,
Because I think it was yes.
or like
It
okay.
was like her parents like owned the horse, or she was like on the ranch with the horse. Something like that. I digress. um
Well, and I think it was you and I that talked about a number of the achievements of Shirley Temple. So like all of her whole
oh
life
yeah.
goes well beyond just being an actress. So
Oh
I,
yeah.
honestly, for a second, when you mentioned her, I thought you meant legitimately like she
She
was an
took up
advocate.
being a
Yeah.
jockey.
Well, a horse law advocate, much like Charlie Day does bird law in
No.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The same sort of
No. No.
horse law,
No,
bird
that
law,
was like
tree
one of
law.
her last like acting
Hmm.
films was Seabiscuit.
I'll be damned.
Anyway,
Yeah, I didn't know that that was an old movie.
yeah. Of
Cool.
our most recent Derby favorites, that streak was from 2013 to 2018, where a favorite won the Derby. But we have not had a favorite win since. So we have not had a
No
Derby favorite
shit.
for the last 8 years win the race.
Okay, interesting.
The longest streak of favorites failing to win the Kentucky Derby is from 1980 to 1999.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
that the race was won like 20 times by a non-favorite.
Wow.
And most Derby favorites will generally run well in the race, with a few exceptions. 63.6% of the time, they will place top three. So
Oh,
if you're going to
okay.
be betting and you're going to be smart about it, pick the favorite and that they're going to finish top three.
Not that we are advocates of betting, but you may as well play the odds. If you're gonna
I
go
live in
do it.
Colorado. It's legal here. It's fine.
Oh, is it?
It-
It must be legal in Minnesota because we have a fairly famous horse track here. I can't. I'm all I can think, of course, right now is the Kentucky Derby. But we have a Canterbury Park, is a fairly famous thing. They also do corgi races, and I never brought my dog there.
oh,
But yeah,
that's adorable.
I want to do that someday. Just go there and watch the corgi races because they're super
Corgi
cute.
race.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it must be legal here because we literally
If it
have
is
a
legal to
pretty
bet
major
in your
track.
area, that is what you should bet on if you are going to bet on the Kentucky Derby.
Well, and as far as you know, Celine,
Or
is
any
that
horse
all?
racing, I guess.
Well, right. If they give you a favorite, they're like top three. Do you know are all of these tracks across the country, like, are they part of a circuit like that leads up to the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown thing?
I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say yes, but I don't know. Because I am not well versed in horse racing to know if that is.
Celine, you
I
came in
know.
pretty hard about being like, I know everything about horse racing. Have you heard about Seabiscuit? And I was like, no, I hadn't.
I did not say horse racing. I said horses. And I did not say
Touche.
I know everything
Touche.
about horses. I just said it brought out my inner horse girl and that I know enough about horses.
I t-
Enough to do well in Jeopardy. In
I take
just
it.
the
I take it back.
category of horses.
I take it back. You're correct. That is in Jeopardy. I'm brought out my inner horse girl, and just for Jeopardy in the category of horses.
And that is a wide enough range that I will at least do
Yeah.
decently.
Well, you're certainly one of the top three favorites for us here on the podcast to win. So congratulations.
Thank you. So with all of this, there's been one time in all of the Kentucky Derby where a favorite horse has failed to finish the race, and that was
Oh,
Demons Be Gone in
holy shit.
1987.
Oh, well, yeah, with a name like that, that makes you wonder what the
The
hell
inner
their pedigree
demon
is.
was begone with him, and
Yeah,
he did not do well.
If you're sponsored by a demon and you can't win, like,
What
or
are
I
you
suppose
doing?
I suppose based on the name, that implies you should be embracing the demon. Because if your name is Demons Be Gone, you're not gonna do well. You got to
Yeah.
embrace that demon,
So
like Ichabod Crane.
yeah. With all of this and Forward Pass being named the winner,
Mm-hmm.
he ran under the iconic Devil's Red and Blue racing colors of Clammett Farms. And as I said, they were winner of 7 Kentucky Derbies from 1941 to 1948. They had 18 at the time, including Forward Pass, Derby winning horses.
Wow.
And this is where it starts to bring into question is it possible that the race was maybe rigged in order for them to claim victory with Forward Pass?
Well, one thing I will
Because
say is, did you say that their color palette was Devil's Red and Blue?
yes,
Is that the name of the colors, or that's just what they chose to call like their banner?
that is the name of the colors.
Huh. Well, I mean, if anything, it goes to show that you should be embracing the demonic possession behind it so that your horse will win, because if you're fighting the demons inside, then you're not going to make it. That is also, does that mean that every country that has a flag with red and blue is demonic, or like it has to be a specific red and blue?
I think it would have to be a very specific red and blue. But
Okay.
with this,
back to the matter at hand.
wondering if maybe it had been rigged in their favor, people started to question the veterinarian Harthill. And he did pass away in 2005. So if there was a secret, he took that one to his grave.
Okay. Interesting. He was the main guy for the race, I think. Like for not Canterbury. No,
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby. Interesting.
Yes. And the thing that a lot of people really were questioning about whether or not this disqualification was rigged or that something fishy had been going on is because the disqualification came off very technical, and because the drug was then approved less than a year after the lawsuit, and
Right.
Fuller himself fully suspected that there was something else going on, especially because he he spent more than what he would have earned from the Kentucky Derby to fight it because it was about the principle. And
Yeah.
usually when people are willing to fight to that length, it is not because they did something. It is because they are fighting for innocence.
Well, and
Generally.
especially if they're especially if they are like a very business minded person, or very frugal, they're not going to spend more than they would have earned, to fight the whole thing. I will say that he can maintain his integrity and his innocence while still having someone else having done foul play. So he could totally not have anything to do with this and still fight that hard while there
Yeah.
legitimately being a like positive test of these drugs. And I will say, while that by itself isn't definitive, and even this next part isn't definitive, the whole thing of them legalizing the drug less than a year later, to me, just screams of them being like, we don't want to deal with this headache ever again. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal. We will just legalize it so that
And
we don't have to deal with this. Fuck it.
that is one of the things we will get into. But
Oh,
I have to
okay.
start with Fuller and what he thought the reason behind this disqualification for was, or
Oh,
like
okay. He's got his own thing.
he does, and that he believed it was racially motivated, which I will get into. Because
Okay.
as far as I'm aware, Fuller is a white man, so that's that sounds very silly to be like, oh, he believed that there was some racial motivation behind this. But it's going to make sense in a minute. A month before
The
the
horse was black?
1968, the horse
Like
was
that was.
gray. He's a gray area.
Oh. Ha!
A month before the 1968 Kentucky Derby, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and Fuller had donated the prize money he won from a previous race to Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King's widow. And this naturally led Fuller, who, as I said, was a white man and he's from New England, who had previously been viciously criticized before the race for his full chested, unwavering support of the civil rights movement, to question if someone was unhappy with him having donated previous race winnings to Coretta Scott King, and
Okay.
then tried to, in some way, sabotage his victory. And I'm going to tell you
Okay.
why this is also not that far-fetched, because
Sure.
he actually did have a relationship with Martin Luther King Jr. And
No.
when he was alive, he had protested against housing discrimination in Louisville, which was
Wow.
during the 1967 Kentucky Derby. And
Huh.
in the weeks before the 68 Derby, he had people sending him angry letters and death threats because of his involvement with the civil rights movement.
I'll say I definitely can understand his perspective on it, because that would definitely seem like what it would feel like. I don't know if we have enough evidence to say that's actually what it is, but it's certainly
Yes.
compelling.
Yes. And he was such a target that someone had set one of his stables in New Hampshire on fire.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
And there were even reports of white people openly referring to Dancer's image by a racist slur.
Sure. Why not?
And Fuller had even asked Churchill Downs if he could have extra security for him and his horse with all of this happening, and they denied his request.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure
So,
they jumped at it. Sure, yeah.
with all of that, it kind of brings into question, like, would it be that outrageous for someone to be where they shouldn't and like
Hmm.
possibly slipped the horse something.
Right. And
That's
since it is such a
it
common
does not
drug.
seem outrageous. Yeah,
No, no, no. Yeah, as far as conspiracies go, it's certainly plausible. Like
yeah,
if there was any evidence to demonstrate it, it'd be one thing. But yeah, if it's just his
yeah,
word. But
yeah.
yeah, it's certainly not ridiculous.
When I first started reading it, where it's like he thought it was racially motivated as a white man from New England. I was like, okay.
Bit of a reach, bro.
And then as I actually like read more about it, I was like, okay, I take it back. I can see how the dots get connected. Is that what happened? I don't know. But it's not something that outrageous.
No, yeah, you can definitely see how, even if it doesn't seem likely, it makes way more sense the more you look at the facts behind it.
Yes.
Or the circumstances at least, yeah.
Especially because it was mentioned later,
Oh.
and I will um I'm just trying to remember where my note for that part was, is that at the time security was kind of lax for the
Mhm.
Kentucky Derby, and that the uh security guards were like going inside and warming up
Oh,
and
okay.
not necessarily like really keeping an eye on things as well as they probably should have.
In Kentucky? What time of year is this?
It's May. It's early
In
May. I don't know how cold it gets over there,
I
but
was gonna say, what is it, like maybe lows of 58 degrees? I mean, I guess if you're used to it, yeah, that feels pretty cold. Still, I mean, that's close to hypothermia range. Still. So yeah, it's May in
mid
Kentucky.
to low mid 50s to upper 70s.
Oh, bullshit. There again, that's what they're used to, so I could see them
It could
wanting
drop
to
to a low
warm
of
up.
like a 50.
A low of a very balmy 50.
Ooh. Well, and I guess with humidity it is a little different, and then if
It
it
would
gets
feel
rainy,
cold,
but
yeah. Well, and there again, we had a teacher when I was in high school in Minnesota. She had gone to Texas for a year to finish a degree, something like that, and it was December, and all of the kids were coming to
oh
school in
geez.
full like winter coats, and she was in shorts and a t-shirt and still sweating to death, and she's like, how the hell are you guys wearing these coats? And they're like, well, it's winter, it's cold. And it was like 75 degrees. They're like,
True.
well, yeah, it's Texas. That's what Texas cold is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all relative. So
So
I mean, yeah,
it's
I guess low
relative.
50s. Low 50s is cold, but still put on a hoodie and maintain your guard. That's your
Yeah.
job.
So another theory is
Mhm.
that Dr. Harthill had a little something to gain from from uh forward pass winning
Bum
over
bum bum. Oh
Dancer's
my.
Image. Yep.
Okay.
So while he was a sought after veterinarian, it was no secret that he was getting a little cash on the side from his jackpot winnings.
Okay.
And according to the testimony of Cavaleris, who was uh giving his testimony to the race investigators,
Wow.
the
Yeah.
as the trainer, he saw Dancer's Image after or in the barn after the Derby and saw uh Harthill and Davis mashing pills into granules and mixing them into a sack of oats with this
What the
horse.
hell? And this was never brought to the committee? Like, what the hell? Like, we
Well,
caught them
because
committing a crime, Your Honor.
it was after the Derby,
Oh.
so part of it is that he's like, okay, so what are they giving the horse?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that the horse was being given anything, and yet here they are mashing up pills and putting it in his food. And after they left, Cavaleris went and emptied the bag and examined it and was like, this bran is like half filled with like these white granules throughout it. And he's like, and they're, I don't know what it is, but it tastes bitter.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why that. Yeah, I just find it funny that he tasted it. And he's like,
yeah,
you know, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try it.
in 1969, Harthill and Davis did tell the racing committee that it was just aspirin and not an illegal drug,
Okay.
but they were doing it outside of like anyone else's knowledge. So like the owner didn't know, the trainer didn't know.
Hmm.
And Harthill was given the choice of paying a $500 fine or being suspended for 30 days for improper conduct.
Right. I wonder which
Because
he'll choose.
regardless of whether it is aspirin or something else, you are
Hmm.
still giving this horse drugs without anyone's knowledge or permission.
Right. Right.
Because
Hmm.
even though you are the veterinarian and you may be like, oh, well, this is what's best for the horse, you still can't just give it to them.
Right.
The owner of the horse has to consent to it.
Sure. I mean,
Whether
it's
the trainer knows or not is kind of a gray area because they don't necessarily like have to know that, but most of the time they are very aware of what the horse is or isn't taking.
yeah. I mean, I imagine it's similar to a mechanic. Like before they do anything significant to your vehicle, they're like, "Look, you didn't bring your car in for this, but we think that like your car won't run the same if we don't do this, but it's your choice."
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And in a more recent interview, he said that him and Davis mixed butte in with, which, was an illegal drug, with the
Mhm.
oats and bran. So it's very possible that he may have just been giving drugs outside of when it was okay the
Yeah.
whole time. And the whole thing came off as very sketchy to Cavaleris, but he didn't see it till after the race.
Okay.
So he was asked, like, could the horse have won without the drugs? And he's like, yeah, he could have.
Yeah. Well, we didn't give
And
him the drugs until after the race, so I'm pretty sure he could have. Yeah. It'd have been fine.
he also, during this derby, punched a journalist in the face
Well,
when
that's not gonna help anybody. What
this
the hell?
particular journalist was setting up for an interview and went to introduce himself, and he just like clocked him as he was,
Fuck!
yes.
Wow!
So he definitely had some other stuff going on that like what
Jesus.
I mean, how many times do we want to like punch a journalist or the paparazzi in the face for sticking their nose where
Yeah,
you don't think it belongs?
sure.
But like
Absolutely. You
to be
don't
setting up
do
for
it.
an interview at the Kentucky Derby as like a very normal standard protocol and to go
Yeah.
introduce yourself to the vet and he punches you in the face, like what the fuck?
That is a bit much. It's one thing
Yeah.
if you're sitting down to dinner and he is at your house and he's like, I just have one quick question. Yeah, like this is at the race. You are a prominent figure, and he's like, hi, my name is so and so from the whatever Herald, and you just get popped in the face. Like,
Yeah.
god damn it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not exactly like he's planning on exposing some sort of deep thing. Like he's just asking you about how the race is going to go. He's essentially
Yeah.
doing a press junket. He's doing that thing where he's like, we're talking to all the owners, we're talking to all the jockeys. We just need 5 minutes, and then you get clocked in the face.
Yeah.
Huh. Poor
Basically.
journalists. They never
Yeah.
they get treated the same no matter what time period.
Yep. And Kenny Smith, who was the state chemist, stated that they had repeated several tests from Dancer's image and all of them showed a positive result. And
Oh
then
wow.
in late 1968, a Nebraska chemist testified that if Smith had accurate and adequate testing procedures, and this was also verified with a Philadelphia chemist, that the lab results would have indicated that Dancer's Image had been given Butte 16 to 32 hours before the Derby. So definitely after the day that everyone who was aware he was taking anything
Yeah.
would have stopped, because
I
it
know
would
I'm
have stopped
focusing.
the Monday before the Derby.
Yeah, I know I'm focusing on the wrong part here, but there are state chemists. I didn't know that was a thing.
I know. I didn't either.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
So,
idea that like we science proves that there was this stuff in his system. We cannot demonstrate that it one was done nefariously, nor that it was going to have an impact on the race. But you do have
but
to
they could
lean on the
prove
Mhm.
that it was 16 to 32 hours before the Derby.
Right. Like based on the current rules, you do have to lean on what the actual facts are, which is like, yeah, the science doesn't lie. We had an outside person come in, they verified
Mhm.
that it had to have been within this time frame. Those are against the rules. The
Yeah.
owner's like, but I didn't put them there. And it's like, doesn't matter. They still didn't qualify.
Yeah. So the thing that is suspicious about Butte being given to Dancer's Image is that it was without Lou Cavaleris or Fuller's knowledge. And like I said, it's the trainer's responsibility to be keeping track of the horse, like regardless of if they know the horse is being drugged or not. And that, like, at the end of the day, he didn't know the reason why the horse was being given Butte, like in the first place. But he does know that if it was given, and that when he was given it, like, he was very aware of when the horse was taking the drug. Because Dancer's Image had adverse effects to Butte and would get very sick.
Oh
And
no.
I am really sorry for the image that I may be putting in your head at the moment, and I apologize to all of you listeners. We are talking like explosive manure stick. And the thing that was kind of suspicious is that this didn't happen at all during the week of the Kentucky Derby. So he's like, so during this whole time frame, he definitely wasn't being given it because he's not sick.
Right. Okay, so that's evidence of like like lifelong effects on the horse of like this doesn't demonstrate that he was on the drug. I also I also laughed for two reasons. One, because of the recent outbreak of things that have been going on in the country that is just hilarious.
I didn't
we're
even
talking
think of that.
we're talking about a horse from the 60s that potentially could have had issues. Also, I've never heard the phrase explosive manure.
That is my own wording. You're welcome.
Sure.
It's,
I love it. Explosive manure.
yeah.
It's good
So
stuff. But I appreciate
what
that
he
and the
does
idea that, like you
know,
said, he has a reason to think that the horse, like every other time this horse has been affected this specific way from this drug. So how could it be in his system without seeing this effect?
yeah. And what Cavaliers does know is that after Monday, the horse was definitely, he didn't ask for this drug. His team didn't ask for it. So he's like, I don't know who would have even asked for it and given it to him if none of our team is, and I'm responsible for the care of this horse. Because that's also the thing, is that Cavaleris could, as the trainer, make decisions that Fuller is unaware of, because at the end of the
Right.
day, as like the owner, you care, is the horse going to race? Are they going to race well? The end.
Sure.
Cavaliers is the one responsible for taking care of the horse and
Yeah,
making sure the
because
horse is being like essentially managed
yeah,
well.
because there's obviously an understanding that the owner has final say on anything, but
Yeah,
you presume that the trainer, like the one who primarily works with the horse day to day, moment to moment, has a very wide berth in terms of what they're allowed to do, what they're allowed to administer, and then they inform the owner like, "Hey, we're doing this thing," and the owner probably is most of the time just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like you were saying, whatever it takes to allow the horse to be able to race and be healthy.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
yeah. So it's totally understandable that the owner doesn't know what's going on moment to moment.
yeah. And he this is where the note I was looking for earlier. He is the one that said that he felt security at the Derby was lax and that on cold nights, guards would go into the tack rooms to get warm, just kind of leaving things unattended.
Well, they're chilly. They want to,
It's
they
50
don't have a
degrees out. It's
sweater.
cold.
It's 50 degrees. It's cold. It's May in Kentucky and we're cold. Does anybody have any hot chocolate? Cuz like I'm cold.
So this leads us back to Calumet Farms fixing the race,
Ah. Oh,
potentially.
right.
Because at the end of the day, they have everything to gain with Dancer's Image being disqualified, and that
Right.
it would have given their horse better odds with breeding, which is where
Mm.
most owners actually make their money from their horses, not from like winning the
Right.
races.
Well,
They
and oddly enough, I think this isn't something I know about horse racing, but it is very similar to like F1 and like IndyCar racing kind of thing, where it's like a
Mhm.
lot of these companies put a shitload of money into these race cars, into promotion, advertising, and stuff. They don't make money on the racing; they make money on the brand and like the subsequent
Yeah,
sales. So it's like if you can show that this horse is a winner, it doesn't matter how much you spent on the horse. If you make money on the well, and like you said, the numbers speak of themselves. You said he was like a 600 siring horse breeder. Like that's a lot of money you make just from breeding. You're not going to make a lot of money from
yeah,
the winnings of the horse. Yeah, so it's like the reputation is what they're going for.
yeah. And especially because Forward Pass, just based on the pedigree alone, would not have been seen as a desirable horse because at the end of the day, you don't want a horse that is somewhat inbred. You don't.
I already kind of forgot that that was part of the pedigree. And
Yeah,
the idea that we even have to say that is like you don't want this in your horse. You don't want you don't want the inbreeding as part of your horse genetics. Is kind of
yeah.
like no shit.
And
Like to the degree of like what are you upset about? You know what the genetics of your horse is. You know they're going to be less desirable. But like it gives them more motivation.
it gives them more of an
Yeah, like they're going to have a higher reason to
yeah.
disqualify their better pedigreed competition.
And Hart Hill, the veterinarian, was also known for having done a lot of work with Calumet Farms. So he very much could have like been in their pocket and like paid
Right.
to do what he could to make sure their horse won.
Yeah, he's on the take and he wants his piece, which is understandable.
Yep. And I will say that Fuller himself didn't want to have this war against Calumet Farms because he thought, like, as someone who was like newer into horse racing generally, and Calumet Farms is like this established brand, reputation, all of that. Like he looked up to them and was like, they have great horses, like they are like the standard I want to achieve. And that's like where his sights are set. And he felt it was impossible for him to get a fair decision in Kentucky because they had such a stronghold and that they were such a household name.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that.
And You know, like it's not like they didn't have other horses, and like they do definitely had a kind of sway and unfairness that, like, if they really wanted to,
Yeah,
they could.
for sure.
And at the end of the day, we will never truly know what exactly happened with Dancer's image. But we do at least know that he went to make on a name for himself post Kentucky Derby and did very well, despite
Yeah.
it all.
This because yeah, that's the one you were talking about that sired multiple hundreds of other.
670
Oof,
plus children.
that's where the real work is. I mean, holy shit. He's talking about one race. That's international.
Well, yes, yes. Internationally beloved horse.
Beloved.
Yeah, that is our derby. What do you
Wow.
think? Do you think it was racially motivated? Do you think the vet was gaining something from it?
That is a
Do
great
you think
question. I think
I mean, because I think
uh,
we can agree somebody here is lying.
I always tend to go back to the right. If it's because there's essentially three possibilities. And two of them involved someone lying,
Yeah,
just from a different perspective. The other one is essentially dumb luck or unfortunate circumstance. And I do this is one of those rare moments where you have to pit the concept of a person's greed versus a a society's racism against each other, because both of
yeah,
those are incredibly strong. It's sad, because generally
yeah,
speaking I would always lean towards the money. Usually the smart idea is to follow the money, but I think we've found, even just in recent times, that the racism of people can be incredibly motivating
can
and
be so
strong.
strong.
Yeah. So I think there's sadly a strong case to be made for both sides. I do think that generally speaking, money wins out. And especially with the testimony of people appearing to be mashing up pills in, well, I mean, because that still could be racism. Ultimately, I think greed wins over anything else, is maybe the best way to put it. Racism is a very strong thing for a lot of people, but I think that if there's a vet, regardless of how renowned he is, um, has a way to make more money, he'll take it.
Yeah,
So I can't help
I
thinking that he would not be above the idea of hiring people to mash some pills up into a horse oats and,
yeah.
feed them. Yeah. So I think the saddest part of this is that it's such a thin line, but I do think that ultimately greed tends to win out over racism.
Yeah, I would agree with that. People love their money.
Yeah. Well, and I think we have enough, even if they're like fictional story based scenarios, I think you can find people who are absolutely willing to override their own prejudice, their own racism for money. They would rather have the tangibility of like dollar bills in their hands than deal with like their race, like let their racism win. I think there are very few
Yeah,
people who would, yeah, let their racism take over versus being paid $1 million to do something else or walk away or whatever. So yeah, I think the money ultimately wins out. What do
fair.
you think?
I'm gonna have to agree with the money. Just whether it is Calumet Farms winning, the vet winning, rigging for that financial gain, I would say that generally speaking, people's love of money generally tends to overrule their hate for somebody.
Yeah, it is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
Yeah,
if the two like combined and like you really hate this person and you can also financially gain from it, then that is
oh
like
yeah.
a whole like holy grail of like circumstances where it's like I am not only financially benefiting, but I am also screwing this person over and I loathe them.
Yeah. You're telling me I get to make money for expressing my innate hatred? Well, hell yeah, giddy up, son. That sounds good to me. Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for us, those tend not to align. So
yeah. That's like
it is.
super villainy.
Well, and it kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier with like billionaires and trillionaires.
Yeah,
Like they would rather keep their money than help other people, even though they absolutely have the ability and the flexibility to do it. There again, this isn't even
yeah,
about like economic political stuff of we should take the stuff from them. They constantly choose not to help others. So I mean,
yeah,
I think that that's kind of bullshit, but you know,
it is.
yeah.
Do
Well,
you have a
Celine,
rating for our food and drink?
that's just where I was going. I do actually. Um I don't know if this is just being in America. I do think the jelly babies are more of a 6. They are admittedly very tasty. This is one of the few times where mouthfeel has a lot to do with it because it's
Okay.
kind of like imagine if are you a fan of Peeps?
Yes.
Then you might really love Jelly Babies. I was
Oh,
expecting
is
you
it
to be
like
on my side. I went,
marshmallowy?
no. Yeah, it's
I like a marshmallow.
so imagine if you bit into a gummy bear, but the
Okay.
inside of it was the consistency of a marshmallow.
Mm.
It's a little off-putting if you're expecting the consistency of a gummy bear. I will say by the end of the bag, I
Yeah.
did like them quite a bit. They're not bad. And for my own, I started that phrase fairly strongly. I liked them quite a bit. I'm not a huge fan of Peeps, but it's that sort of weird. I don't know. The internal part of it is really soft, and it's sort of hard to describe. But
Okay.
the flavor was very good. I think I only say a 6 just because I'm so used to traditional like American gummy bears and dots and stuff, and it's just such a
Yeah,
different sort of mouthfeel.
it
That
is.
being said, um, I may be coming at this real hard, but the mint julep for me is a solid 10. Uh, I, I mean, I'm just a fan of mint. I will also say that just in terms of the balance of a drink, usually you have a pretty strong uh, ratio of a mixer to the alcohol you're using. And this particular recipe I
Yeah.
found calls for 2 ounces of bourbon to just a half ounce of simple syrup. And then literally, I mean, whatever mint oils you get from muddling the actual mint leaves, I just put in a few drops of mint. I mean, you cannot taste bourbon in this. I was expecting it
Oh,
to be really strong. Yeah, no, I don't know if it's just the love of mint or what, but this is delicious. And I'm disappointed that I've never had one before. I swear I thought I had, but it is I will definitely have another one of these. They are fantastic. Simple to make,
okay.
very rich in alcohol. I love it. The whole experience for me, I'm gonna go with a 9. I like the mint julep enough that it raises the relative oddity of the jelly baby for me. It's very close to a perfect pairing. Even like the sweetness. I should say again, the jelly babies have a delicious flavor. They taste very fresh and real. And as far as I know, the ones that I got are straight up imported from Britain, so they're the actual
Oh,
legitimate thing. Yeah, and they're very good. Like I said, my only complaint is that I'm expecting the consistency of a gummy bear, and it's
yeah.
not quite that. And they are shaped like babies. So take that for whatever you will, but yeah, they are called jelly babies for a reason. They are shaped like infants, and I find that slightly off-putting.
That's fair. That's fair. I would probably give my drink an 8. I think there's a few little things I can tweak to it to really make it good, like
Mhm.
really muddling the mint or doing like a little bit of mint extract to give it just that little extra something. I do think going with a mix of the ginger ale and ginger beer was a good call because everything I saw was like, oh, just do ginger ale as like the whole thing. And I'm like, and then adding simple syrup and like the already sweet ginger ale, I'm like, that's a lot. It's a little too sweet. So I do think mixing the two was a good call just because it
For
kind
sure.
of toned down some of that sweetness and gave it a little bit more of a bite that you would expect from like a bourbon having
Yeah.
actual having one with alcohol. I'm very excited for when I am able to do that because I definitely want to try that when the time comes. And
What I was gonna say, this actually gives me a good idea. I feel like going forward, I might try to do an alternate version for everything that we have, because like some people
oh,
aren't alcohol drinkers, or for whatever reason at that point in time can't have alcohol. So I feel like that
yeah,
might be a fun experiment too, to see if like I have an
I
idea for
agree.
one pairing and then like have an alternate version that can go with, and we can try both. So
I
either way.
agree. And I love the gummy bears that I picked out because I love the Albanese gummy bears. So I'm gonna give those a 10.
Shout
Meet in
out
the
to
middle
Mimi
at
and
9
Sammy.
for the
Those,
two.
yeah, I know that those are the ones that Mimi has bought before, and she's gotten like the huge bag either from Amazon or
Oh,
like at
yeah, you
Target.
can get like a gigantic bag from
Oh,
Amazon. That's like
they're
5 pounds.
so good. Yeah, they are so good. Those, sorry to, I think it's pronounced Haribo. They're kind of
Haribo.
the main. Yeah, they're like the main staple in the U.S. But man, those ones are so
To be
good.
fair,
Holy shit.
I feel like what we get here in the US is not the same as what they have in Germany where they make them.
No kid. Wait. Oh, really? That's the brand, the Haribo.
Haribo is German,
No
yes.
shit. Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
German
I'd buy that.
company.
Oh
And that
man.
I had this conversation with Gabriel about Lay's. And
Oh, okay.
my example here, the difference of Lay's and Walkers. And
Oh yeah.
I have a very specific shout out to my friend Taryn for Walkers for sending these to me with some other baby stuff from the UK. And that like Walkers and Lay's, although the same company, not the same. They do not
That's
taste
so
the same.
weird. Yeah,
They
even the
taste
label's the same. Weird.
yeah,
Okay.
literally the same.
Yeah.
They do
Well,
not
and
taste
we
the
do,
same. They do not.
yeah, we do have
Ours are
different,
like airy.
yeah, they're very chemically. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Well, and there's something to be said about that, kind of across the board, because to be fair, I've never researched this, I've never looked it up, but I've had a number of people mention to me that the liqueur Fireball is literally only sold in the United States, because we're the only country that allows some of the chemicals that are in it to be sold in food products. And it is
Yeah.
akin to formaldehyde. So
Yeah.
there's a reason that they only sell it here, and boy, do we seem to love it. We sell it by the bucket in certain places. We love our
Yeah.
Fireball.
So, Taryn, thank you if you were listening for sending
Hell
them
yeah.
my way because it absolutely just made my day. And I actually
Oh,
had some today. I was like,
hell
I
yeah.
need my crisps.
Did they send you like a whole box? Like a big
She
chunk
sent
of
me
like,
like a whole little like care package with
oh.
a blanket for the baby, some self-care
Yay.
stuff, some
Is
like
she's in the
bibs and
UK?
muslin cloths. Yes.
Oh. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
Taryn. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Does she listen to the podcast?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, then she better, because otherwise this feels like a, yeah, this feels like a bullshit plug. Like if we're saying like, oh, thank you, then she's like, I don't even listen. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna say she's gonna listen to this episode specifically and be like, wow.
the one. This will be the one.
Wow.
That would be amazing. This is the one she listens to. She's like, out of all of the episodes, I'm going to just check this one. And they talked real badly about me.
Matt
Sorry,
specifically, not me.
Right. I'll take the responsibility. It was me specifically.
It was all you, Matt.
It was. Well, and speaking of sending us fun stuff, listeners, if you have anything that you would like to send us personally, that would be fun. If you have any recommendations for either topics or pairings, you can email us at peculiarpairingspod@gmail.com. You can find us on the app formerly known as Twitter at peculiarpairpod. And you can find us on Instagram at peculiarpairingspod. And you can check us out on Patreon. I believe it is patreon.com/peculiarpairings. I
believe so.
Look that up. Yeah. You can also find us on YouTube because Celine's been putting us up there, and yeah, check us out. Whatever platform you're on, please take a moment to like and subscribe and just give us a 5-star review if you can, because that helps us out a lot. And all the internet stuff. So thank you.
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah. Celine, do we know what we're doing next week?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And I feel like this is going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about Baba Yaga.
Yeah. I am slightly familiar with Baba Yaga. Quick shout out to the dollop, because I think that was like the second episode of theirs that I listened to.
Oh, really?
I think it's Baba Yaga. Now I'm gonna have to go. I think it was that they were talking about. Yeah, they had a very early episode that was about some sort of entity that was at least similarly named. I'm trying to think. I think it was Baba Yaga. Or I might just be thinking of the name that John Wick has in the John Wick series. I think he's referred to as Baba Yaga. Yeah,
he is the boogeyman.
Okay, maybe okay, that might be what I'm thinking of. Well, then either way, yeah, it'll be fun. So join us next week, everybody, and thank you for being with us today, but we'll see you next time. So thank you.
You bet. Thanks, listeners.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
If tales of ghostly hauntings, Bigfoot encounters, extraterrestrial interactions, and cosmic awakenings are your cup of tea, then join me, Eric Szilagyi, host of Uncomfortable Podcast, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Make Uncomfortable your home for the topics that reside on the fringe of our reality. Eyewitnesses, researchers, and experiencers join me on a weekly basis to delve into their paranormal and otherworldly experiences. Heard in over 65 countries worldwide, follow Uncomfortable Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your casts. Uncomfortable is now presented in video form on YouTube as well. So, as always, my friends, stay uncomfortable.